Hello guys, welcome to a Sunday as we almost go back to work. Yo, I can't imagine. You know, when work environment is not very exciting, I'm telling you, home is sweet. Hey, I am now longing for self-employment, guys. Just pray for me this 2026, and I just wish to get another option away from job, because that work environment sometimes is quite boring, toxic, unfulfilling. What do I say? If I get a different work environment or a different job, I think I'll be better. But the current one, oh my God, I can't hide. So my goodness, we are back to 2026, and I'm seeing us going back to job, to the boring places, repetitive routine, things you don't like, orders you don't want. My goodness. But anyway, it is what it is. We have to go back. If you know, you know. If you don't know, forget about it. But guys, if you get an opportunity out there, a better option, don't hesitate to inform me, guys. I'm not begging. I'm just asking for your connection. Networking online, it's part of our game, right? And now, as we begin this year, one thing I want to assure you is that we have also to get active in politics. We have to talk politics, whether we like it or not, because this is part of our journey. And of course, as we work through our other professional groups like Mulembe professionals, we can actually gear our way forward and question the politicians and make them accountable to what they are doing, answerable to us. However, if we sit back and say that other people will do, all those will be rewarded. Will always be people who don't know what to do for the citizens, and will continue suffering. What is this happiness about the few coins that we earn from our work? Is that fulfilling? I don't think so. So guys, welcome to edutainment for us once more, to a political reaction. I'm mostly trying to reduce my reactions from 1 hour to 40 minutes. So bear with me as we go on. I'll be doing 2 reactions, then I'll go to the other channel and do another one. Short ones, so that we just get used to it. As I can see, as I can see, Mr. Fruit Money, aka Skamarwa, has decided that he will only watch 60 hours of social media. And social media includes TikTok, Facebook. It can even have Twitter. Then we have YouTube. So I'm scared. Will he really be watching me? Anyway, wherever you are, if you will be watching, then come by and let me know. Will you be watching? Because my live streams have been 1 hour each, and I do 3. 2 on Edutainment for Us, 1 on Live Saga TV. So what's gonna happen if my audience are running away because of their new goals? Anyway, it is what it is. Let's proceed. The first thing I don't want to forget is that a lie has been used to target Babu Owino. And by the way, Babu Owino had prophecy. I don't really encourage people going by prophecies all the time. But you remember the prophecy that was given to Babu? He was told that he has a star. But at the same time, he has a lot of enemies who are pointing at him, guys. So Babu Owino was told last year, I remember last year about February, we saw some apostle who pinpointed this to Babu Owino when he was attending a church service. And somebody told him that, Babu Owino, you are a star, you're gonna be a leader, but at the same time you are supposed to be very cautious because you have a lot of enemies. Now, a saddening information in the morning in a restaurant, there was an exchange between Alai and his people with Babu Owino, guys. This is something that has been planned for long. We have people who feel like Babu is just too much and they want to eliminate him. Now, what happened is that while in Mulimani, Alai actually raised a gun on Babu Owino. Babu Owino is the goon of guns. You remember the last time he raised a gun on somebody and then they just go to reconcile and forget about it? Now he has become the victim. They always say the hunter becomes the hunted. Not in good faith. I'm not saying this because I'm celebrating. I'm not. It's unfortunate our politicians are ready to use guns, and that is why somebody says if you get to politics, be ready with a gun also. All right? So, what's popping? Alai actually with his crew targeted Babu Owino, and Babu Owino has just come out of stomach surgery. I don't know why that was the case, but we know very well that he was not well, okay? And of course, we have seen a lot of attacks on Babu Owino, not just from Alai. In fact, Alai was the least to have spoken to Babu Owino. The people who have been directly attacking Babu Owino include Junet, Wanga. We've seen, I saw another, Oburu Odinga is mad about it. But we've seen people attacking Babu Owino, and we didn't expect Alai to do so. So Alai today decided to go head-on collision with Babu Owino. My goodness, I hope everything will be fine because Babu Owino does not entertain this. What about if he decides for revenge? And then if it comes to the limelight, that will be the end of his political career. But I just hope that he'll calm down and use the right channel to do it. But then again in Kenya, do you have the right channel? It all depends on who you are. Of course, we know Babu Owino has been doing a lot defending the very law of law, going to court to defend them. We've seen even people arrested and they are actually let go because of Babu. We've seen him going to the students and speaking about what he wants to do. So I don't know, what is this? You know, what is this? So it happens that Babu Owino is now at risk. His life is at risk. Now I want to pull some receipts so that I don't keep talking and talking. Lectures are part of what I'm targeting. Once I finish my master's, I want to start a PhD immediately and then see whether I can lecture. But then, when it comes to this live stream, I don't want to lecture. So let's get to a video that will show us something here. Yep, I think it's here. Hawa watoto wamewaita kweli. Watu kwa baridi saa za 12. Na umeweka maji ya kutosha. Full sufuria. Alright, so let's get to Maisha TV and just focus on what is popping here.
A trigger was pulled more than once, and only a jump stood between confrontation and catastrophe. The politician at the center of it all, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, has now issued a press statement saying the incident was an unprovoked threat to his life. The other key name, Kileleshwa Member of County Assembly Robert Elai, is alleged to have been involved in the altercation at a Nairobi restaurant. Investigations are said to be underway, and the DCI has not yet issued its full public position. What actually happened inside that restaurant, and what does it reveal about the state of Kenyan politics right now? A confrontation in a popular Nairobi restaurant has moved from rumor to formal police reporting. Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino has written a press statement claiming his life was threatened. Robert Elai, MCA for Kileleshwa, has been named in the allegations. By the time you watch this, the story is already in the hands of investigators, and at the moment there is still no full public response statement from Elai. That is the current ground truth, and the country is now arguing, fearing, joking, speculating, and refreshing their timelines in equal measure. The scene is Kilimani, lunchtime, Seda's Lebanese restaurant along Lelana Road. Babu Owino says he arrived for a private meeting with a senior clergyman. He explains that he had released his security detail for the holidays, the kind of small logistical decision that feels innocent until it suddenly isn't. As he was preparing to leave, he says he noticed Robert Elias sitting nearby. He claims he walked over out of courtesy to greet him. According to his statement, the mood shifted instantly. He says Eli accused him of engineering online attack against his wife through blogger Maverick Alco. Owino says he denied it, insisted he does not know Alai's wife and does not participate in personal smear campaigns. Then comes the part of the story that has electrified the country. Babu Owino says Robert Alai became hostile, pushed him, drew a pistol, and hit him with it on the chest and jaw. He says this happened openly in front of the patrols. He adds that water was thrown over his face during the altercation. At that point, he says he chose to walk away before the situation spiraled further and went to Kilimani police station to report the incident. In his words, it was a clear threat to his life. Parallel to that, reported eyewitness accounts in Kenya media add even sharp allegations. They claim that the firearm was not just drawn but cocked, that the trigger was pulled several times, and that the weapon failed to fire before a senior DCI officer dining at the restaurant intervened and disarmed Alai. These are heavy claims. They remain allegations until the authorities verify them. That clarity matters in a country where politics and rumor travel at the same speed.
Alright guys, so you've heard about Robert Olai's criminal behavior in a restaurant, guys. And of course, if politicians will be allowed in Kenya to conduct themselves as Alai has done, it will be very terrible. Quite terrible for most citizens, because it's coming to a political time, and of course our ideological differences allow us to support different members of different parties or different religious affiliation or even tribes in Kenya. So it's quite unfortunate that after the long wait of Babu, I conduct a transaction just quite fast before we proceed, and I hope that the transaction will not affect my viewership of the videos I want to show. But if it happens, of course I'll flow with the vibe. Yeah, so away from Babu Owino's situation, the next aspect comes to the Sifuna claims that he is just too much. So of course we've seen a lot of people trying to urge him to calm down, and of course asking ODM to have peace. Winnie Odinga, of course, is to be proposed as the ODM deputy party leader, according to Aladwa's statement. But away from that, there is a lot of provocation, or rather differences in ODM party. I don't know, for whatever reason, after the fall of Baba, everything has gone from fine to worse in ODM, and I don't know how soon they'll have to settle. And of course, out of that, I have to show some videos, but after a transaction that I need to make. Alright guys, so of course I broke to pay some transaction over something. It's unfortunate I'm still using the same phone for double business, but I know 2026 is going to be a different year. I'm so optimistic about everything. I'm not wedding, no ring, but I'm here to do my political reaction. So of course when you look at Sifuna, there have been a war left and right, and I don't know whether he's going to be the next victim like Babu Owino, but it's unfortunate. Anyway, let's go check on some ideas here.
Why do we judge people for excess weight, then shame them for how they lose it? That more or less ignores decades of...
ODM Nairobi County Coordinating Committee Chairman George Aladwa has called out to top party officials over the ongoing squabbles, demanding an emergency meeting of the Central Management Committee to bring order. Aladwa says former party leader Raila Odinga's daughter Winnie Odinga will be co-opted into Nairobi Delegates Committee to replace the late party leader and subsequently be proposed as a deputy party leader of ODM. Reports.
As the standoff between two factions within ODM top leadership continues, Nairobi County Coordinating Committee Chair, Makadara Member of Parliament, George Aladwa has stepped forward, calling for immediate
Na wengine wanatakana wakae chini, viongozi wote wa deputy party leaders pamoja na secretary general wao wanasikizana, wanatoka vizuri. Kwa nini sasa hawezi kwa mkutano, kila mtu anaenda kupanda iko matanga, anaenda kwa sherehe, kwa hii wanaongea vitu lugha tofauti.
Alado says it is a shame that barely 3 months after Raila Odinga's death, the very people he entrusted the party with are busy rocking the boat.
Dr. Buru kama party leader wetu na Mheshimiwa Sifuna kama secretary general wetu wanajua mahali pa kukaa kwa central committee, kuna national election, kuna NEC ambayo ni organ kubwa ya chama, na kuna structure ambazo zile wanaweza kaa chini waongee.
The controversial second-term lawmaker, who was one of Raila's most trusted confidants, says he will push for Yala Member of Parliament Winnie Odinga to replace her father as a Nairobi delegate, then propose her as one of the deputy party leaders.
Mimi nilikuwa nimependekeza hapa awali kama tuelekea national delegate conference, kwa sababu Raila Odinga ambaye ni marehemu kwa sasa alikuwa ni delegate wa Nairobi ambaye mimi ni mwenyekiti. So nikasema na nimependekeza kwamba Winnie Odinga kwa nafasi ya Raila Amolo Odinga ile ya pale delegate wa Nairobi ataingizwa hapo na to propose tuwe na deputy party leaders wanne.
A proposal that will most likely generate heat or perception of the Odingas taking over the Orange Party, given that already Senator Oburu Oginga is a party leader and his younger sister Ruth Adhiambo is a member of the Central Management Committee, and now Winnie as a deputy party leader.
Hakutakuwa na shida kwa sababu Winnie Odinga si Ruth Odinga. Ruth Odinga si Dr. Oburu Odinga. Hao ni watu tofauti kwa jina na kwa maumbile. Ni ile tu wametoka kwa jamii moja. Na hiyo hajazuia chochote kama katiba, hajazuia kitu yote.
All right guys, so that is the controversial information that is going on in ODM. I don't know whether ODM is realizing that there is a very large split that is looming. And in the process, Sifuna is blaming Ruto for the wrangles that have been emerging in ODM. Do you agree that Ruto is to blame, or is it ODM itself to be blamed? If people are confused in their own house, can an external force really help them settle? It becomes a problem. So ODM actually has a very serious problem that is ongoing. And unfortunately, individuals are coming out to speak on behalf of the rest of the party when they have not engaged anyone else on board. Of course, when we look at the 20th celebration at Mombasa, most of them agreed that if they have any common problem to share, they have to wait until they have a meeting. However, we've seen consistently individuals speaking for themselves. Mark, for example, Orengo. Orengo has been speaking for himself. You come to Sifuna. Sifuna has been speaking for himself. I've also seen Hamisi also speaking just for himself. Now, it comes to Aladwa, who has spoken for himself. Babu Owino is another person that has been speaking for himself. Now, look at the other party, which is who is Junet. Junet also has been speaking for himself. We come to Mbadi. Mbadi has been speaking for himself. Now, we come to the last person I'll mention here, Gladys Wanga. She has been speaking for herself. So generally, ODM is a party that is split totally. And I don't know, even as many people urge them to come together and work towards a common agreement, even as Aladwa tries to imagine that it's going to be peaceful when he suggests that Winnie Odinga becomes the deputy party leader after becoming a delegate, and that the same family can have 3 members being leaders of ODM party. Will this really bring them peace or conflict, a fragment or unity? So as we continue to watch over what is going to happen in ODM, because I know that some of you are very optimistic, you keep telling me to speak positive about ODM. Yet on the ground, what we are seeing is all negative. You know, not negative in the fact that what they are doing is totally wrong, but the fact that the party has people with very different ideologies, and they come out clearly to share how they differ. All right, so back to talking about, of course, we've talked about the gun drama in Kilimani involving Babu Owino, who was nearly shot by a lie in a confrontation. The confrontation involves the blogger Maverick, who has been posting a lot of information on politicians. Wherever his source is, no one knows. But now, people like Alai feel like it's Babu Owino who has been giving this information to the blogger. The blogger who has guts goes on to post all times. Of course, we hope that they'll settle their differences, whether in court or wherever it is. But it's unfortunate already for ODM. You can see these two people are in ODM, but they have a clear confrontation, and 2027 is not far. So what's going to happen? Let's hope for the best, but then drop your comments based on what you think will now emerge out of Babu Alai confrontation and out of the Aladwa's statement. Meanwhile, Gloria ORWOBA has come out to lecture Honorable Muthoni over the aspect of shouting two-term in the yesterday's funeral at Gokoya's place. She came out to insist that even though people feel different, for her, she is a two-term. And during the same funeral, Gachagua had made an allegation that the lady was paid 10 million or more to go to the government and become an ambassador or a voice for this. So let's come back and listen to what ORWOBA said. And of course, ORWOBA's statements emphasized in a church within Kiambu was that even in Kisii, people are standing for one term. But then, guys, let me ask you before we proceed, what does one term or two term mean? What is the manifesto ahead of them? Who is clear, who is lying? What is the focus? Like, what can we ask these politicians to answer to us? Now, let's go back to ORWOBA and listen to her. Then we proceed from there.
Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start my brain dumping everything I need to get done, and
maana hata kama tumefukuzwa bado tuko uhai. Tunasimama kanisa, tunasifu Yesu. Kwa hivyo nikiwaambia tembea na Yesu, si mchezo. Mumesikia vile tumeambiwa hapa na pastors. 2026 is the year of what? Rebuilding. Mulikuwa mnafikiria sijui kusisikiki Kikuyu. Unajua sisi ni cousins. Nimetoka pale Kisii, mahali panaitwa Bobasi constituency. Na huko Kisii, mambo ni kama tu hapa Kiambu. Mambo ni kama tu huko Mount Kenya. Huko Kisii, mambo ni one time. Mambo ni one time. Mtu asikudanganye. Huko Kisii pia sisi tunasikiza ground. Hapa mbele tutawaonyesha vile ambavyo tunasikiza ground. Kwa majina naitwa Gloria ORWOBA Kenya. Hata mkisema muna impeach, sijui munafukuza, sijui muna remove, munafanya, watu wamesema deputy president ni Rigathi Gachagua. Na huko mahali nimetoka mpaka Nairobi, ukitembea watu wamesema nominated senator ni nani? Gloria ORWOBA. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaendelea kutembea na Yesu na tunaendelea kusema maneno ya rebuilding Kenya. Mumesikia vile ambavyo tumeongeleshwa leo? Maneno ya rebuilding Kenya kama yule Nehemiah. Sisi tuko mbele. Your Excellency, I believe very strongly what they are calling an impeachment was not an impeachment. God was preserving you so that you can lead the rebuilding of this country. Amen. God was preserving you so that you can go to the front line and lead the united opposition among other leaders to rebuild this country called Kenya. And all the other things you are seeing. Hizi vita zote zenye unaona ndio tumeambiwa hapa. Adui ni wengi. Na wanatembea na sisi. Wanakaa na sisi. Lakini tunafaa kujua kuwa hii safari ni refu. Safari ya kujenga Kenya ni refu. Wale walikuwa wanasema mtachoka, you will forget Rigathi Gachagua after 20 days. Sasa tukikaa kuangalia runinga tunangoja kusikia Rigathi Gachagua amesema nini. 2026.
All right, guys, so that is what Gloria ORWOBA said. Gloria ORWOBA is one of the appointed senators of Nairobi, was later on removed from office for whatever reasons. Of course, she came up with accusations which God knows and she knows whether they were true or not. So those accusations actually drove her out of office because, according to her, there are people who are fears into what was happening and they wanted it to go on. She came up with a lot of blames for people who actually are rewarded not correctly, those who are oppressed so that they don't move forward, how the agendas of Kenya are pressed down. And of course, a lot of Kenyans have been following her closely in most of her interviews. If you have been keen, she has been on Ikonini, she has been on NTV and Citizen and so many other platforms. So she is a mark in this country when it comes to political discussions. Now she came up in Kiambu to announce that she is a one-term. Of course, not alone. She's in the United Opposition, if you know. You've been seeing her around. And when she was talking, she was addressing Muthoni indirectly. Because Muthoni Marabu, Honorable MP, actually indicated recently in a funeral at Gakuyu that she was two-term and she has no apology. And what she knows, this country will grow through that. Of course, Singapore is one of the most listened to statement that is posted every day. And now, how is our president still pushing this ahead? Do you believe that Singapore is here, or is it a narrative to only keep us at bay? Of course, if you know what has happened in Venezuela, let me know. Now, let's proceed to what Ruto was actually directing towards different people today. And we'll come back to check also on what Gachagua had insinuated elsewhere. So, of course, the church, as I've said, has become a platform of political discussions. And we may feel bad about it, but I don't blame the church leaders for allowing politicians to come around. Church is one place where people already go there when their souls are open to listen to what is going on. And I think politicians have learned this. No wonder they keep coming to churches on Sunday, and when they come, all they have to do is to stand and speak. And when they speak, they make sure that they represent themselves as politicians. So guys, this is one thing, and this is the reason I'm saying that we as citizens cannot step away from politics. And the elites, we've been one of the people who have been stepping back just because of some few rules here and there and saying that we don't want to keep ourselves in politics. Remember, politics is a game. And it's a game that is used to beat us all the years, economically, socially, and in so many other scenarios. So anyway, let's listen to what our president said in a church. Remember, other people are accused of speaking in church about politics. But now the president is the lead, our role model. What did he say? Let's listen to this.
Kuhakikishia kwamba hiyo safari, peace, stability, and the unity of the people of this Kerio Valley. Today here we have people from different communities. Tuko na wananchi kutoka Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, Baringo, mpaka Samburu. Wote tukisimama pamoja na tukisherehekea amani. Mimi nataka niwashukuru wale wote waliohusika na hii amani. Wananchi wengi wamechangia. Viongozi wetu wa dini, nasema heko na hongera kwa kuombea serikali yetu na kuombea amani ipatikane katika sehemu hii. Wazee wote, wale wa nyumba 10, machief, assistant chief, provincial administration yote, ama national government administration yote, chini ya waziri Murkomen na IG wetu na wale wengine wote, mimi nasema asanteni sana. You have my 100 support as you undertake this responsibility. Na sio hapa peke yake. Wakati Profesa Kithure Kindiki alikuwa waziri, tulikubaliana na yeye, akajenga msingi, tukalete jeshi hapa, tukalete polisi wengi hapa. Murkomen akakuja shikilia kwa hiyo msingi. Leo tunaona matunda ya watu kufanya kazi kwa pamoja. Wakenya wengine wote mko tayari? Na tumesema itauziwa kila mtu, hata mtu mdogo, hata kama uko na shilingi 200, 300 kuja nunua. Ndio saa ile tunatangaza profit, wewe uko ndani huko unachukua yako, unaenda unaendesha maisha yako. Tumeelewana? That's what we want to do. Mimi nawashukuru maaskofu wetu kwa sababu ya kupanga ile kazi yote imefanyika hapa. Sio rais ama Murkomen ama askari in this year. Mimi nataka niwahakikishia kwamba hiyo safari tutatembea pamoja. Hapa vile vile kuna mambo mengi viongozi wameniuliza. Kwanza nikitoka hapa nitaenda kuangalia hii barabara yetu. Hii barabara ilikuwa imekwama. Mimi nimefanya ukarabati, nimefanya maneno. Sasa barabara nimetafuta contractor mpya. Kutoka kule Parbelo mpaka Tot niko na contractor mpya na anaendelea. Kutoka Tot sasa iteremke chini ikuje Chesegon mpaka Kipasi River niko na contractor mwingine. Kutoka hapo Kipasi River kwenda Lomut, kwenda Sigor mpaka Marich Pass niko contractor mwingine. Tumeweka bilioni 15 ya serikali kufungua hii sehemu ili hii amani ambayo imepatikana. Pia mimi nitarudi hapa, mmeniambia kuhusu maji ya Murunyi. Hawa viongozi wamesema tayari tuko na milioni 700 saizi. Na nimesema Februari tutawaongezea milioni 700 ingine. Mimi nataka hiyo project ikuwe complete. Ati mpango yao ya pili ni kupinga ile maendeleo yote, sijui housing wanataka kupinga, sijui National Infrastructure Fund wanataka kupinga, sijui wanataka kupinga masoko, sijui wanataka kupinga universal health coverage. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize hawa viongozi, jameni, tafadhali, how do you benefit kama mpango yako yote you are just scheming and planning propaganda na fitina against an individual? Hiyo ndio wananchi wanataka kujua, pamoja na matibabu ya watoto wao. That is the plan they want to have. Tumeendelea ya kuunganisha stima.
Yeah, so of course that was the announcement or declaration from the president. One thing he kept talking about what he's doing, particularly for the West Pokot, and he now began to also talk about the opposition and what they are doing. Guys, do you think these people are actually playing games on us, or what exactly are they doing? Because when they go to meetings, some of them, they talk about what they don't want. Others, they talk about what they are doing and what they are yet to do, and they give very big dreams or plans. And there are those on the other side who just say what they don't want. I would actually wish to have your comments dropped to understand your thoughts. Meanwhile, let's listen to what Rigathi Gachagua said in a church.
UDA ndio iko 5%, DCP utajinunulia Christmas. Hata hii basari tukiingia itapeanwa mwaka 3, mwaka 4, mwaka 5. Tunataka tukiendelea mbele turudishe masomo ya bure tulipewa na Mwai Kibaki. Turudishe free secondary education tulipewa na Uhuru Kenyatta. Turudishe Linda Mama tulipewa na Uhuru Kenyatta. Kuliko kusumbua watu kupiga line kwa MP kupewa basari, serikali itoe pesa iende direct kwa shule. Hatutaki hii maneno ya mashindano wati nani masikini kuliko mwingine. Tutakuwa na free and fair nomination. na uchaguzi utaishia nomination. Na huyo kijana unataka kupinga Karongo, umpinge. Hata huyu Karongo ni rafiki yangu, lakini utaenda nomination Karongo. Hakuna direct ticket. Utaenda Nyoto, utaenda nomination. Wapi hiyo kijana anataka kupinga Karongo? Anza campaign upinge huyu mtu. Ukimshinda na kupatia tikiti, yeye nitampanga. Niguo. Nataka nitangaze ya kwamba hakuna direct nomination, hakuna mapendeleo, itakuwa free and fair na uchaguzi utaishia nomination. Kwa hivyo Bwana Jenga Mavati, uendelee. Na wale wengine wakuja wapinge wewe. Si ati upande direct, hakuna. Si tumekubaliana? Uchaguzi utaishia hapo. Wacha niseme mambo 2-3 ndio nijibu Kasongo. Ndemo ile kadi kama ile. Kwanza huyu Kasongo amekwama. Amefika mwisho. Amekataliwa Kisii, amekataliwa Western, amekataliwa Pwani, amekataliwa Nairobi. Hapa mlima ndio balaa zaidi. Nairobi kila pahali amekwama. Sasa anaona ile watu yake ya wakale chini watatoroka. Na Wasomali pale kidogo. Na ile watu wanampatia pesa. Sasa anafanya opinion poll ya uongo. Ati anaongoza. Nyinyi mmezunguka Kenya. Huyu Kasongo kuna pahali anaongoza. Anaweka opinion poll ya chama chetu cha DCP ambaye ndio chama iko na umaarufu katika Kenya. Sisi ndio tunaongoza Kenya 28%. Anasema ati sisi tuko na 5%. Sisi tumeenda uchaguzi, tumeshinda kiti Narok. Chama mpya ya mwezi 6 Narok tumeshinda kiti. Tumekuja Nairobi Kariomagi tumeshinda kiti. Tumeenda Kakamega tumeshinda kiti. Huyu Kasongo anatengeneza opinion poll. UDA ndio iko 5%, DCP iko 28, anapindua.
Kwani tia nafanya nini? Anasaidia chote tunajua.
Nataka kuambia watu wetu those are fake opinion polls. Hao watu ya info track. For many years walisema Raila atashinda. Aliwahi shinda? Iko ingine inaitwa Tifa. These are fake opinion polls ambayo imewekwa na Kasongo. Na mimi nashindwa wanapigia nani simu? Walipigia nyinyi simu? Walikuja kukuuliza? They are fake things. Inafanywa kwa kompyuta. Ndio Kasongo watu wake wale wa nyumbani ya Rift Valley wasiogope watoroke, na wale wanampatia pesa wafanye biashara. Wakiona hako chini sasa hizo wanaweka opinion polls to cheat the few people he is having. Ignore those opinion polls. DCP is the most popular party in the country na imeonesha wakati ya by election tuendelee kutengeneza chama yetu. Mambo ya masomo. Huyu mtu in 3 years, unajua nasikia akisema ati mtu angaliwe track record yake. Mwai Kibaki alichaguliwa 2002 akatutengenezea free primary education. Uhuru Kenyatta akakuja 2013. Day secondary school ikakuwa ni free. In 3 years Ruto ameharibu hiyo yote. Tunaongea leo pesa ya capitation ya last year mashule haikupata. Mashule yote iko na madeni. Maprincipal wamesima simu kwa sababu ya kusumbuliwa na suppliers. Tunaenda hii January hakuna pesa ya capitation. Minister anasema iko, Kasongo anasema iko. Kama hajapeana ya last year ni ya mwaka huu atapeana. Tena hii ni serikali confused. Ile watoto wamemaliza grade 9. Kijana amepita. Anakuwa admitted shule ya day, yeye anatoka hapa Kiambu. Anawekwa day school Kericho. Mtoto mwingine msichana amealikwa shule ya vijana. This is a totally confused government because the fish rots from the head. Huyu Kasongo is a confused person kwa sababu hakuna kazi anafanya. Kazi yake ni kufanya deals na kutafuta pesa. Sasa hapa kwetu shule zetu Alliance, Mangu, wapi? Watoto wetu hapa wamepelekwa shule iko chini na marks yao iko juu. Watu wengine wameletwa kwa mashule zetu hapa. There is total confusion kwa mambo ya shule. Parents do not know what to do. Alafu kuambia William Ruto tukiwa hapa mlimani. Watu ya mlima wanakuambia hapa Kiambu, kabla utupeleke Singapore, kwanza malizana na mambo ya bottom up. Ulisema utatuweka pesa kwa mfuko. Ile kidogo tulikuwa nayo ukatoa. Kwanza rudisha ile ulitoa kwa mfuko before utuambie mambo ya Singapore. Si ndio? Ulikuja ukakuta masomo ya Kibaki inafanya kazi, ukaharibu. Tengeneza masomo ndio utupeleke Singapore. Ulikuja ukakuta NHIF inafanya kazi, ukatoa ukalete mnyama anaitwa SHA. Yes, anaitwa Raymond. Wakasabotage that program. And that program was very simple. Ilikuwa ni kuhakikisha ile masaa ya kunywa pombe from 5 to 11 tukaweka. Number 2, tukafunga factory zote zilikuwa zinatengeneza pombe ya kuua watu. Hiyo mtu hapa pale Isili, we can tell you where he is. Atume ndege ichukue hiyo mtu. Vile alifanya pale, alichukua rais wa nchi. Na huyu Donald Trump ni matata. Yeah, that's what we want him to do. Because that fellow alijenga hiyo mall na hiyo pesa. Na ndio anatumika kuangaisha wakulima Kenya. All the duty-free rice yeye ndiye anafanya.
All right, guys. Of course, that was a very long speech. We can't listen to the entire speech. But when it comes to Sunday, Sunday is a moment for these people to banker each other, shambuk each other. I don't know for whatever reason. Instead of telling us what they'll do, they keep telling us what the other has failed to do, what the other one is saying, how somebody lacks brains, and all that. And it is a discussion that is actually sometimes very boring, but a lot of bloggers are getting interested in them because this kind of exchange seems to be a very fertile ground for discussions and rumor mongering and speculations. So I don't know. Going forward, I believe that politicians should have a different way. But I think they have studied the nature of citizens and they realize that citizens like this kind of talk. And that is why they keep doing it. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope I've covered the match that I was focused on and shown what is going on. And maybe let's meet tomorrow for more discussion as I prepare for another live stream. Hakuna nini kwa